So a cool thing about franchises and series and trilogies and all that for films is that there's something unique that they all have. The reason why they keep on making more movies. So an obvious reason is the stories. You have something like Avengers, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. There's this one story that each movie is telling. And then you have something like Fast and the Furious. There's not this one big story. Each film is its own story. But I think their unique strength is their protagonists. You have Vin Diesel. The actors and the crew just built their own fan base that made them come back to watch more. And for Pirates of the Caribbean, man, something that kept me coming back is their villains. And they put a lot of creativity in their villains. And what they have going on is kind of like what Dragon Ball Z had. There was always a certain amount of episodes that catered to this villain, this new villain. You had, Frieza, you had Boo, you had Cell. Another example is Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. Man, the villain of each film just really stole the spotlight. And that's what I feel like what Pirates did for their franchise. And something that's awesome about Pirates of the Caribbean is that it feels kind of like a video game. Like each villain is a new level. So like with each movie, you have the villain, but the villain comes with their own crew, comes with their own ship, comes with their own, unique theme, comes with their own backstory, personality, motivation. And then you also have the actors who portray them, and each one does an amazing job. Each one was a really, really good pick, really good casting for that role. So anyways, first you got Captain Barbossa. And Jeffrey Rush did an amazing job. And this is like the ultimate pirate. This is the classic pirate. When you think of a pirate, this is him. Because, you got someone like Jack Sparrow, and I love him. I love his character. I love the way Johnny Depp plays him. But when you think of pirate, you don't really think of Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is just kind of this unorthodox pirate. He has a very unique personality. He's just very loose, buzzed, kind of this smooth talking his way out of situations pirate. But Captain Barbossa, he's the perfect one. He's mean. He got the accent down. He's dirty. He's gritty.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
And then on top of that, man, the theme for Barbossa and his crew, they were cursed to live as corpses, which is pain and suffering. So they longed to live again. And I felt like that's a very original concept. And man, on top of that, dude, you had the Black Pearl, you had the moonlight that revealed what they really looked like, and then they were immortal, and then the freaking underwater scene, just walking under slow motion, that was sick, that was dope. All right, and then you got Davy Jones, and Bill Nighy did such an amazing job with his performance. I think Davy Jones was one of the characters that Bill Nighy was made for. I mean, he really got to go all out with that unique voice, and I think that's what made Davy Jones so special.
Master Turner, feel free to go ashore. The better next time we make port.
Well, I think what makes Davy Jones also is his story. He has layers and layers of almost like this mythological backstory he has with Calypso and the reason why he ended up the way he was, But that theme of him and his crew turning into these sea creatures, I think that was perfect because he's like literally, the sea.
I am the sea.
And then, man, the Flying Dutchman was a really cool ship, with it being a supernatural ship. It becoming a submarine, and then him also having charge of the Kraken. And then something also interesting about Jones, though, is that you see this battle between, not between good and evil, but between seeing him as, I think that's his theme, is he a monster or is he a man? And then, him going back and forth between those two characters. And I think that was a cool thing to see within his character. Because I'm glad they had Beckett in there, because Beckett, you need a villain that you hate sometimes. And this guy, you just want him to die. You don't care about him. You just want him to die. With Davy Jones, I feel like he's a villain that you love. Kind of like him and Barbossa. These are villains you would love to see on screen, and that you don't want to die. You understand why they do die. But I'm glad they kind of have that contrast between Beckett and himself. And then after that, you had Blackbeard, and I love Ian McShane as an actor, but I feel like they didn't really give him much to work with. I feel like the villain was lazily written, along with everything else about him. I mean, first of all, if you look at the character design of Davy Jones and Captain Barbossa,
I mean, Blackbeard didn't really get much love. He didn't really get a special theme to him. You know, Captain Barbossa got undead corpses. Davy Jones got Grim Reaper of the Sea. Blackbeard, I don't know, just a guy that wants to be young again. And then his crew didn't get much love either. You look at Captain Barbossa's crew, you look at Davy Jones' crew, and then you look at Blackbeard's crew, and they just got zombies. There's so many creative ways you could make zombies. I mean, but with these guys, they just said, hey, let's just get some regular looking guys and make them, you know, have white eyes, and that's about it. And I feel like, man, there should have been more. I was like, man, where's the character design? You know, where is that at? And then you get to the ship, and that theme with the ship that it did, it just, you know, the ropes came alive. I felt like that wasn't really that exciting either. And I don't know where it went wrong. I didn't do too much research in it. Different directors. I'm not sure what happened. But still, they were still carrying on with that villain theme. You know, they had a villain. He had his crew, his ship, backstory, and all that. And then they picked it back up. I don't know what happened in between, you know, 4 and 5. I don't know what happened. They're like, hey, let's make a cool villain again. Captain Salazar. Oh, man. Javier Bardem, again, killing this character. And this was a great villain to write. I think what was unique about this is that these guys weren't pirates. You know, they were, you know, just they're part of the country's military. And then them being turned into these ghosts. And just the effects of these ghosts were very unique, very awesome character design. The black goo, the liquid, the ash. However they died, that's what was left of them. And, man, they had, you know, he had this ship that could eat other ships. They were in charge of these ghost sharks also. So I think all that tied into the character, bringing it back to what they did with Captain Barbossa and Davy Jones. So with all that being said, I think Pirates of the Caribbean, they should have just focused on their strengths. What made Black Pearl so special? I mean, of course, it was the villain, and they got that right for the next couple films, but they had a few more elements that made it special. I think the mystery, the adventure, and then just the pirate theme, and of course, you got Jack Sparrow. I think if they just focused on those elements and just kind of did a Mad Lib style, just mix and match the same categories for the next couple movies, I think it would have been a very, very successful franchise. And even though it doesn't sound very unique or, you know, groundbreaking, like, if it's not broke, you ain't gotta fix it. You know, that's like what Avengers did. Like, all their individual hero films, a lot of them were just very alike. They were just kind of copy and paste styles of each other. Just the good guy versus the bad guy, and, you know, that's it. That's honestly it. But all those movies were successful. They were hits. And I think they got the formula down, and they're just like, man, let's just work with this. We don't got to make nothing super special. And I think Pirates of the Caribbean, they just, with each film, man, kind of tearing us in so many directions, trying so many things out. Like, take World's End, for example. They try to stuff in the pirate lords. They try to stuff in, man, Davy Jones' locker in there. And then the marriage at the end, there was so much going on in that film that I felt like it was just so scattered. So, anyways, I love what Pirates did with their villains. And I don't know how much more they could go without really ruining the franchise, without drying it out. I think they could still save it with this next film. I think if they just keep it simple again, just focus on what they have. But hey, I'm gonna watch it no matter what. Just, you know, I'm gonna have hope. I'm gonna have hope. So hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
What are you looking at? Back to work.